It's so funny because now I've been doing this long enough that I've had this experience more than once actually, where I started working with someone who said, she was like, I know that you don't approve of this, which is always my favorite thing. Like, what is it? She was like, I know that you don't really approve of this, but I started Weight Watchers again. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, if that's where you're at, then that's totally okay. My question was, what time is this? How many times have you done it before? And she was like, this is 5. I said, okay. My only question for you, no judgment, no shame. Is there something that makes you think this time will be different? And that was when she was just like, and I was like, listen, if this is what you need to do right now, then do it. But I just want you to be questioning that, you know, is do this thing and then what? And then what's your plan? How will it be different? When I think about the diet industry, so what the experience I've had is then almost to a year exactly, then the same person reached out to me and was like, okay, you're right, now I'm ready. That's why people don't come to me first. Because you have to experience your lack of control over and over and over again before you're willing to accept that you don't have total control. And if that means that you go on 800 diets, then you have to go on 800 diets. I can't rush you through that process. This is about when is someone individually ready to say, I actually don't have control over this the way I thought I did. And everyone's gonna reach that at a different point. But when I think about the diet industry, just generally, I think it's a great example. It's an illustration of how collectively human beings act out of emotion, not out of logic. Because, using myself as my own example, when I lost all my weight, I started yo-yo dieting. And I tried all these different things, 5, 6, 7 different diets. I'm trying all these things. I was so in denial of my emotional self that I wasn't making decisions necessarily rooted out of emotion. I was thinking very logically. And the way that I got myself to remove myself from that cycle was by thinking logically and just objectively saying, every time I go on a diet, I lose weight and then I gain weight. And then I lose weight and then I gain weight. And then I lose it and I gain it. I lose it, I gain it. Doing tons of research and science, just collecting all of it. And I was just staring at the fact that I could keep trying and it was always gonna respond with more weight gain. So the reason I say that is because if we all gained all our weight back and could see it objectively, if we could just eliminate the emotional part of us that felt really ashamed and embarrassed and judged and all of those things, if we weren't feeling really emotional and we were just saying, every time I lose weight, I gain it, and then I lose and I gain, I lose and I gain, we would all have the ability, like Einstein said, to recognize doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. So this is about just that, is when we get the result of the diet industry, which is you'll lose weight temporarily, but then you'll gain it in a more long term, what happens is at the end of that, we feel so much shame and so much failure and so much defeat and so much confusion and so much uncomfortable emotion that when the diet industry comes along and says, here it works, you say, okay, because we're emotional, not logical beings. So why do we try a million diets before coming to me? Because you have to understand, like, you have to go through it enough that you're willing to say, I surrender.